I'm Larry Monkey, and you can find me on Twitter at FFLarryMonkey. Now, here we go. In the shadows, lurking in the darkness, he's walking through the weeds, tracking down a turkey with his fancy turkey calls. At Road DFF, Justin Rogers. What's up?
What's up, brother? What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
I'm all right. It's okay. You know, I still don't really have a quarterback, but
Yeah, I don't know which side. We'll just touch on that real quick. I don't know which side has leverage now. Like Aaron Rodgers, is like I want to play for the Jets, but now who has I can't figure it out.
I don't know, man.
That's been the talk.
Gotta trust Joe Douglas. Just gotta trust him.
Well, it ain't on him now. It's like the Packers did Aaron Rodgers put the squeeze on the Packers, or did he put the squeeze on the Jets?
Yeah, I don't think the Jets are. Fuck the Packers and like them wanting more all of a sudden. Forget this nonsense. Screw you. Okay, fucking have Aaron Rodgers then and Jordan Love again. Your season will be fucked. We'll trade for fucking Matt Stafford or Kirk Cousins, or we'll go after Lamar. I don't know. Fuck them. You know, just take your 2 and your 3 that has a potential to get to a 2 and be happy with it. That was just my made up offer for Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's all I feel he's worth, you know, for a one, you know, let's put the dynasty mind on this. You got a guy for what's going to be good for 1, maybe 2 years.
Yes.
If you want to make a run, I don't know. I'm not going to give up an early pick like that. I mean, the Jets have the 13th pick. I mean, they could really use that pick, obviously, if they get Aaron Rodgers, assuming it would be like an offensive lineman or wide receiver or something. So
I don't know if it'd be wide receiver at this point, since they have, you know, the Lizard King Lazard on their team.
Free agent acquisition.
New wide receiver 1.
6'5", 27 years old. Stone hands. He's in the top 20 in drops. Not much of a fantasy asset. More of a boomer bust guy.
Yeah, he's better for the team than he is for.
Good blocker, good locker room guy, but so fantasy football asset.
Like if you're in a super deep league, he's fine as like a wide receiver 4, but I don't want to be starting him in a 12-teamer that I'm trying to win in. Well, look, we are going to get into the free agent frenzy. We're putting rookies on hold this week. You know, the tampering period started last Monday, a week ago, and it has been rocking and rolling. It seems there's not that many free agents left to go. You know?
Nope.
So should be interesting. We're going to go division by division and just discuss the big moves, acquisitions, and maybe some vacancies and how that affects what's going on.
Some dynasty implications, perhaps.
Yeah, there better be some dynasty implications. That's for sure.
Nice. So where would you like to start? What part of the country or the landscape would you like to delve into first?
Well, you know, I'm in the South, so screw it. We're starting with the South.
Let's start with the AFC South.
All right, let's do it.
Since I'm an AFC guy.
Well, right. Tennessee didn't do anything.
This is going to go by real fast.
Jacksonville didn't do anything of note. The Colts, Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
So I think he could start a couple games this year. Maybe starts like the first 4 if they.
You're getting the first quarter of the season at Gardner. I mean, what are they going to?
Maybe it depends on who they draft. If they get like an Anthony Richardson, that's one thing. If they get a CJ Stroud, he may not start a game.
I can't see Stroud falling to them. If they get like a Richardson where he has to sit for the whole season, they start Minshew the whole season and just kind of like tank again for a nice draft pick next year.
Is this a good thing? Because he didn't look great with the Eagles last year.
Right. You draft Minshew and then you get like another top 5 pick next year to build around your rookie quarterback.
Yeah, you're now a second-year guy.
That's chess,
I guess. So that's about all that's happened for those 3 teams. But then Houston's been making some moves.
They made a whole division's worth of moves.
Yeah. Specifically today. We're recording on a Monday. So they signed Robert Woods the other day. Yeah, yesterday or day before. Then today they pulled Dalton Schultz and Devin Singletary. Oh. So Houston brings in Robert Woods a couple days ago, and then Dalton Schultz and Devin Singletary today. The Schultz one is interesting to me. They don't have much at wide receiver. I mean, is Robert Woods and Nico Collins. So Schultz is still going to see a target share. And this will be where we hear the rookie quarterback favors the tight end, blah, 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 bullshit narrative. But we'll hear that all year long.
Is this going to be the spot where Bryce Young goes? Or is this, I mean, what kind of, are they, it's one thing if you're going to be building your team around Anthony Richardson. I feel like let's build it a completely different way than if you were going to build it around Bryce Young, you know?
Yeah, I don't think they're going that way. I think they want a quarterback. Like everything that's been rumored is Bryce Young to the Texans.
Okay.
So I think everyone's assuming that the Panthers aren't going to take Bryce Young. That they're either going to take Stroud or they're going to take the upside of Richardson. They've been rebuilding since Watson was, pulling his pants down.
No, they wanted the head coach is tanked. He didn't tank. He won the last game of the season, which would have gave him the first round pick.
Well, that was Lovey. He's no longer there. So
right. So, I mean, they're definitely getting a quarterback. They should kind of just trade out of the pick and just try to tank for next year too. They just made a bunch of moves. So let's go.
They should go ahead and get whatever QB they think they can get right now. I hate the whole trade out and wait another year and try to get a quarterback. That doesn't work.
Well, I just don't understand this Lamar Jackson stuff. If it's going to cost you 2 1s, you have one.
Well, here's
the deal. Picks are always 50-50 hits anyway.
Yeah, but you know what the smart thing to do for them is to wait until after the draft, so they're not giving up the 102. They're giving up their 24 and 25 first instead of their 23. I think that's what we might be seeing, is that all these teams don't want to give up their 23 first right now. So if they wait until after the rookie draft, after the NFL draft, then maybe they can make a move. So we might be waiting another 4 or 5 weeks or whatever.
So wait a minute. Free agency goes on that long?
Well, Lamar, unless he signs an extension with the Ravens, his is good until like July.
No kidding.
The team can swoop in.
So Devin Singletary, is he any more than just what Devin Singletary was in Buffalo?
No, but I think it hurts Dameon Pierce.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any scenario where this is good for Dameon Pierce.
Down the stretch, he the wear and tear kind of came through.
He did, and he also needed like 17 carries, 20 carries, all that just to be 12.8 points a game. That's what he scored. If he needs that kind of volume to get to 12.8 points a game, what does it mean when Singletary comes in and steals 150 touches and 40 targets? 150 carries, I mean. That's going to be a problem.
They want to load up that offense for whoever they're bringing in, so I guess the more the merrier.
Right. It makes sense from a football standpoint. It makes complete sense. Like, give the guy $3.7 million and you get another good weapon. But for fantasy, it's not great. Doesn't help. I don't think it hurts Singletary. I don't think he's probably in a similar role that he was last year.
Lateral move.
Right. But it definitely hurts, Dameon Pierce, because he was by himself back there last year. Well, let's move on to the NFC. So we'll start with the Saints. They bring in Derek Carr and Jamal Williams. That's their two big names.
I mean, that's a fantastic pickup, because when Kamara misses time in the beginning of the season, which is what everyone's expecting, Jamal Williams just did that exact thing because Swift was injured kind of to start the season.
Yeah. I think that Jamal Williams is going to be kind of a sneaky redraft guy too.
Yeah,
because you're going to have like 6 weeks, potentially 6 weeks.
Is he going to be sneaky though? He's going to be at the top of everyone's rankings for redraft.
He's not going to be at the top of anybody's rankings.
He's going to be the darling of
he might end up in the top 15 or 18. Yeah, that's true.
Mark my words, Jamal, he'll be on the cover of the magazines. We have like 18 touchdowns last year.
No way he'll make the cover of any magazine. Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe down in Mississippi he might.
Well, no, you got to think for magazines they want to sell, and Jamal Williams is not the guy that's going to sell like, oh man, check out that magazine, it's got Jamal Williams, let me snag that.
Yeah, he's been like a Twitter darling too, lately.
But that's not what these magazines are trying to sell to the mainstream. Half the people in the mainstream don't even know who Jamal Williams is playing for right now. Like they don't even know where he's signed.
Okay.
And then Michael Thomas stays. Forgot to mention him, but Michael Thomas stays. So
I mean, if
he's healthy, he's relevant.
Is he?
Yeah, he has to be.
You think he'll be David Carr? Well, David Carr. I always say David.
Yeah, right. There goes David again, coming out of retirement.
Derek Carr. What are you willing to pay for Michael Thomas?
Oh,
You're not giving a second.
maybe a late second, early third, maybe. It's definitely not an early second. But would you be surprised if he had like 70 catches for 900 yards and like 6 touchdowns this year?
Nope. Like 693 yards. That's all.
I don't think that would be unreasonable.
I mean, is he going to be? But when's the last time he hasn't played in a couple of years? Really?
No,
how many games? How many games last
all.
year? 6 or 7 games last year?
No, he played 3 games last year, and he missed the whole season the year before. So, yeah, he's got to stay healthy. But if he's healthy, what is my dog wandering around for?
Oh, he's tap dancing, man. Does he have a cane and a top hat on right now?
All right. Well, how about we move on to Carolina then? They made a couple big position player moves. Plus, they made the trade to get to the 101. So they get their choice of quarterback, and then they gave up DJ Moore in that. And so everybody's going, well, who are they going to throw to? And then they bring in Adam Thielen. So that could be interesting. And then my boy Miles Sanders, who now looks like he's in line for a true bell cow role in Carolina. They got a second rounder, but they can't do anything with that. They probably have to go wide receiver with that second rounder, 44th pick overall or whatever it is. Well, their offensive line is pretty set right now. They have a solid offensive line. So if they go QB, they got to get him a weapon. It can't just be Thielen and Terrace Marshall. That's not a good situation for a rookie quarterback to be rolling into. I think that's on the table. How do you feel about Miles Sanders in Carolina?
Miles Sanders, it's the same thing with him, man. He's got to stay healthy.
Right.
We've seen him flash. I think he'll be great down there, but I don't know. He's still Miles Sanders. He had a nice season.
Right.
And Tankathon has Jalen Hyatt going to them with their second pick, which would be nice.
That would work out well.
Wide receiver ad
right guy there. Out there. Yeah. Well, let's go to my team, the Falcons.
Matt Collins.
Spent a ton of money, and what they get for it is Matt Collins and Jonnu Smith. I traded a 7th rounder for Jonnu Smith, so I'm basically including that in the free agency. So they pay him $10 million, and Matt Collins, I don't, whatever.
Matt Collins is he's like Russell Gage.
Yeah, exactly. For my HQ1 team where I might get like 9 or 10 points a game from him, I'm stoked. Like, yeah, sweet. Maybe I got a fringe starter. But in a 12-team league, I don't want anything to do with Matt Collins. That's scary. And Jonnu Smith is going to be the new blocking tight end who can occasionally catch balls. Let's move on to Tampa Bay. They have one significant signing, and it's Baker Mayfield.
I love it.
I mean, he can't lose the job to Kyle Trask, right? Right?
No. He's not losing the job to Kyle Trask.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
It's Baker Mayfield, man. I think he's going to have a good season. That's a good team. It's a ready-made team.
It is. But do you believe that he's going to have a good season? Or are you just hoping? Are you trying to like speak it into existence?
Well, I mean, he took the Browns of all teams to the playoffs.
How many years ago was that?
That was a while back.
So I think it was like 1998. I can't.
Second season. He set a lot of rookie passing records.
Yes, he did.
During his rookie season as well. So he has it. He just needs to find a home.
You better find it again.
He needs to find a home. And they got some nice weapons. They could continue to add to that. Their offensive line is good. I mean, Tom Brady just left.
I don't know if their offensive line is all that great. One thing to mention is that Leonard Fournette is gone. So Rachaad White does maybe get a little boost. I wonder what they're going to add in the draft.
Oh, yeah. They'll be getting – so we want to know who Tankathon has.
Who they got?
Tampa Bay taking at 19. Bijan Robinson.
Really?
Well,
I don't want to see that for all my Rachaad White shares. Please no. I'm not even sure that's a great fit for them. They're like in a limbo area now where it's like they're in between actually competing.
Are they?
Yeah, they're not actually.
Well, Todd Bowles is he's a terrible coach. So
right. But what I'm saying is they're not actually competing with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. But they think they want to try probably.
Well, they're in a bad division. They have a shot to win this division.
Maybe. I mean, it's an awful division. I hope that anybody but the Falcons wins the division. I hope. You know what? You know what I'm pissed about? Let me go. Let me just go on a rant. All right. All these Falcons fans saying, "Let's load up on the defense, and then we'll get our quarterback next year." You know what happens when you load up on the defense? You go like 7-10, and you can't get your damn quarterback. So now we've spent all this money on the defensive side of the ball, and we're probably going to win 6 or 7 games and be picking at the 10 spot.
Yep.
Damn it, you morons! That's not how this works. You can't get to the 1 or 2 spot by spending $50 million on defense in free agency. Son of a bitch. But I mean, I like him.
That's not his build, man.
Yeah, right. So now it'll be like going through quarterback purgatory for the next 10 years. Well, they try to figure that out.
That's how it's going to work. Take it from me.
Could have just traded up and got a quarterback and then spent all that money on defense and been good to go.
Or just trade 2 1s and get a 26-year-old former MVP.
Well, not with the money that they've already spent now.
Right, exactly. They ruined that potential move. But that's why I don't understand.
They started
why would
money
you not do? If you're a competent GM, why would you not make a move like that?
I don't know. Like you're gonna go ahead and just lock in a guy for the next 5 years, plus if you wanted to use, franchise tags and whatnot, 6-7 years of quarterback play. I don't know, man. Let's move on before I get really salty.
Do it.
All right, so let's go to the AFC North. Okay, and now let's go on to the NFC North. Bengals didn't add anybody. Steelers added nobody of note. Ravens added nobody of note. All right, let's go to the NFC. The NFC North, we got the Bears. They let Monty go, and they replaced him with Deontay Foreman. And, of course, they traded for DJ Moore in that move back to the 9 spot where Carolina got the 101. How are you feeling about Khalil Herbert and Deontay Foreman?
A fantasy-friendly Chicago team. Well, DJ Moore, I mean, they're going to make a point to get him the ball.
Got to help. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think DJ Moore has more value now than he ever has. Well, I mean, there was a time where DJ Moore was like Chris Godwin.
Is this an upgrade?
I think so, yeah, because he hasn't had a nice quarterback in ages.
Okay, but now you're assuming that Justin Fields is a nice quarterback. Let me give you one stat. He threw for more than 200 yards just twice last year. That's not great, Bob.
He was also running for his life.
Say you want DJ Moore to get 1,000 yards. Realistically, the team needs to be throwing for 3,500 or more. That's 200-plus yards a game. That's every game. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a good move for DJ Moore. I like the fact that his value got a little bump.
They're gonna make a conscious effort to get DJ Moore touches. Absolutely,
but the problem is that they're also going to be running the ball like 900 times next year.
Yeah.
If he gets 30% of the volume, and it's only a 3,000-yard passing season for the team, then he's going to have like 900 yards.
Well, this team has the potential to lead the NFL in rushing.
Right, which is great for Deontay Foreman, Khalil Herbert, and Justin Fields, and whatever running back they add in the draft, because they're going to add somebody for all of you people that think that Khalil Herbert is going to be the 1A. Slow your roll. They didn't even want him to be. They let. Okay, here's a little deeper. They let Monty go, and Monty signs a 3-year, $18 million deal, something like that. So $6 million a year. They let Montgomery go. They obviously didn't think highly enough of him to sign him to an extension, right?
Okay.
They thought so highly of him, or so low of Khalil Herbert, that they relegated him to a pure backup role behind a guy that they didn't even want to re-sign for $6 million a year. Like that's how they feel about Khalil Herbert. They're like, Khalil Herbert is so bad that the guy that we're getting rid of, we don't even want him on the field in front of.
Maybe they just wanted to run the guy that they were getting rid of into the ground because they knew their season was going nowhere, and they didn't want to hurt their future RB1.
Their 25-year-old third-year guy.
Hey, he was effective.
Oh, he's very efficient in limited touches. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Chicago offense, see where it goes.
Well, let's move on to the Packers. Not much to say here until we know what the hell's going on with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's just clear as day. I mean,
Well, they're going to have to add a wide receiver.
yeah,
No
because
doubt.
Lazard is gone now, and Jordy Nelson is gone. Randall Cobb is gone. Let's see here. Desmond Howard. Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do. They got Christian Watson and basically nobody.
Not even a tight end.
Yeah, Tanyan's gone. Where did he
They just
sign?
have the two running backs. That's it.
Yeah, they got Dylan and Aaron Jones. We'll see how that works out.
I mean, Aaron Jones isn't going away anywhere.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, is he a buy? Is he a buy for you? You trying to get him?
I'm not trying to buy 27, 28-year-old running backs.
Is he that
I'm
old
not
already?
Yeah. Aaron Jones, no, he is 28. He turned 28 in December.
Wow.
So he'll turn 29 during this season. I'm not trying to buy that.
Right.
I just can't justify it in my head. Not for the price, because everybody wants a first for him, and I'm not giving a first for Aaron Jones. No, thank you.
I mean, A.J. Dillon, on the other hand.
Also, especially not giving. I'm not even giving him early to mid-second for A.J. Dillon.
Really? I would
No.
give an early to mid-second for A.J. Dillon.
No, I'd rather take a shot on one of these rookies. I mean, you're talking about another guy. Isn't A.J. Dillon like 25? Right. No, he'll turn 25 in a month, May 2nd. So he'll turn 25, and he's still going to be, at best, in a committee with Aaron Jones. The Lions, they get Monty. So they take their division rivals running back, put him there with Swift, and move Jamal and let Jamal Williams go.
Yep.
And Jamal Williams got $4 million a year, and they're paying Monty $6 million. So it's not too far off, I guess. I think they just think that Montgomery's a slight upgrade. But is it good for the locker room? Because everybody loved Jamal Williams.
So it's Amon-Ra, Jameson, and then Brock Wright. So you think Brock Wright sticks around? So he didn't do too bad replacing Hawkinson.
He was fine.
He scored 4 touchdowns.
I mean, you're going to see Swift get his. He probably sees another 70 or 80 targets at least. Well, we could just move on to the next team.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings, we finish up the NFC North. They let Adam Thielen walk. They've got KJ Osborne waiting in the wings. Are you high on him now?
No.
No.
He was included in a package that came my way, so I have him on a roster.
Uh-huh.
And I'm hoping I can find someone that likes KJ Osborne so I can unload him.
Really? I'm going to pull this.
You like KJ Osborne?
Well, let me tell you, I don't know that I really am losing my mind over him, but I am pulling up the DLF player splits. And let me see.
30th pick of the 5th round in the 2020 draft.
All right, so we're going to put KJ Osborne in here, and we're going to put Thielen.
Coming off a 650 yards, 60 catch, 5 touchdown season, 90 targets. Got to think this will increase.
It's got to get better. Let's see here. So let's see. Thielen played every game last year, right? 2 years ago. I'll put 2021 in here.
So Tankathon has Minnesota taking a wide receiver at pick 23. And that receiver is Zay Flowers, wide receiver, Boston College.
Yeah. All right. So KJ Osborne played 4 games without Adam Thielen in 2021. He averaged 11.4 points a game without him. 8.9 in the 30 other games. Obviously, it's a small sample size, but 43.8 receiving yards and almost a touchdown a game.
All right, maybe I'll send him your way.
Let's see. He scored those game logs: 17.3, 5.1, 14, and 9.1 in those 4 games. So only one of them was just completely trash.
Is he worth the 207 to you?
No, I'm not giving. No. I want him at value. I don't want to pay a mid.
The 2.7. You're just talking up KJ Osborne.
I'm talking him up for value. I don't want to buy the guy that's going to give you, for the 207. I don't want to get the guy that's going to give you 60 catches for 800 yards and 5 touchdowns. I'd rather shoot for the upside running back or something like that.
Hmm.
You know, if you're looking at, let's see, the 207 right now, you're looking at Kendra Miller.
Oh, I don't. Well,
Something
I
like
mean,
that.
landing spot will tell us how important of
Roshan
a big guy
Johnson.
one is.
Yeah, Roshan Johnson, Tajay Spears, Tank Bigsby. All those guys right now are in that range.
Yes,
So,
yeah, no, I would want all of those over KJ Osborne.
right.
I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't pay more than 3.5 for KJ Osborne.
Well, see, then you're getting into like Izzy Abanaconda or Cedric Tillman.
John Lobb was a big fan of him. Izzy.
Yeah. That might be the point where like it gets pretty rough. Sam Laporta might be in there in that range. Kenny McIntosh. It's whatever. I think he's going to be usable.
Hold on. KJ Osborne or Mike Gesicki?
Oh man, why are you going to do this to me? I guess Gesicki because I hope that I can get a top 12 season out of Gesicki a lot easier than I can get a top 24 season out of KJ Osborne.
Well, who cares? Who cares about that?
Well, I want to be, if I'm looking for a player to use, I want the usability of a top, a guy that's actually relatively to his position, relatively useful.
We didn't get to the AFC East yet.
Not yet. We have not. We can go on and move to the East, though.
Okay.
Because that is next. All right. So the AFC East, let's just go right into the Pats with Juju and Gesicki and make a couple moves there. Let Damian Harris walk a neighbor
Buffalo.
down the road there.
Buffalo.
Yep. But let's talk about Juju.
Oh, my God. Juju. I hate any wide receiver on the Patriots. Number one.
Well, hear me out here, though. Jacoby Myers, how many targets do you think he had last year?
Jacoby Myers, I'm going to say he had 90 targets.
Okay, he had 96 targets.
Okay.
In 14 games.
Okay.
And 100.
Yeah, he was like the focal point of their offense. I mean, the running backs kept getting injured. He was the only guy that was on the field.
Yeah. So, can you give me?
That's you're saying that's Juju's floor?
Give me 7 targets a game. I'm okay with that. 115 targets. What did Juju have last year? He had 101 targets last year. Now those were obviously higher quality targets. He caught 78 of those 101. Really nice catch there. But there were weeks when he was just useless. I mean, he had a monster midseason stretch, like the very beginning and then the end of the season were pretty trash.
Yeah, the 5 and the 6 point games are just you can't do that. And then in the playoffs, when we went back to his old ways, 5 and 4. Terrible.
Yeah. From week 6 through week 15, he was good. I mean, there were some weeks in there like, yeah, that's the Juju I remember.
Yeah, you want those at least double digits. You can't have the single digit games, and he had way too many of those last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Half the season, 1 digit. You can't have that guy on your team.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he gets a little bit more consistent volume. And so maybe he doesn't have as many peak games, but he ends up with more of those 12, 13-point games than he does the 6 or 7 point games. The Dolphins, they didn't do anything of note. I mean, they let Gesicki walk. That's about it.
Are you selling Gesicki? Because you have a bunch.
What can I get for Gesicki?
You have to get a good game out of him first.
You're right. I can't. I'm not selling somebody that's not worth anything.
Nah, you gotta get him. He's got to have. It's like Mac Jones is gonna like hit him for 3 touchdowns, and then boom, just trade him to everyone.
Mac Jones isn't hitting anybody for 3 touchdowns unless it's over the course of 6 or 7 games. Let's be honest here. All right, so the Dolphins didn't do anything. Bills get Damian Harris from the Pats to replace Singletary. I like this move for both Damian Harris and for James Cook, assuming that they don't add anybody else in the draft.
I think it's just this. It's like the same. The 2 backfields.
Not really, because Singletary had 52 targets last year. You know who's not getting 52 targets this year?
Ramondre?
No, Damian Harris.
Yeah.
Damian Harris is not getting 52 targets. No way. And so I
Right.
think that opens up some passing volume for James Cook. Some more third down because Harris is a true 2-down banger, whereas Singletary could stay on the field. So I think Harris is going to get more carries than he got last year in New England. That's pretty much easy to do. And then Cook is going to end up with more targets and more third down plays.
Well, you think he would get more in his second year, so
yeah. I mean, he came on at the end of the year, but I think he had like 32 catches or something like that on 41 targets. Something crazy. Something not great. Just whatever.
Right.
But I mean, I think it's a nice move for the Bills because they wanted their big guy. They wanted maybe Josh Allen doesn't slam his body into the line at the goal line as much and preserves a little bit.
Damian Harris was good. He's a good goal line guy. And maybe they brought him in there to take that away from Josh Allen.
Right. I mean, then you got, still the passing game is fine. And then your Jets. All right, your Jets. Big move with Alan Lazard.
Yeah.
What other former Packers are they bringing in? Eddie Lacy? Is he on the way?
Yeah.
Is he doing? Is he got
Eddie Lacy? He's working his way over here. He's a wide load right now. So.
Well, I was going to say, how many buffets are between wherever he is and Jersey? Because that might delay him.
Packers. I don't know. I don't. I just get the deal done already. Whatever, man. Yeah. So everyone can live their lives. Come on, Packers.
Yeah, they need to get something going. All right, let's go to the NFC, to the East there. Eagles, they made a couple moves. Your boy, Marcus Mariota. That's your boy, right?
Well, it was your boy.
It was not my boy.
Well, we didn't even talk about the new starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
When Ritter pulls that hamstring in training camp.
I'm not even sure it's going to take a pulled hamstring. It's going to take him throwing a couple balls into the dirt. And it's going to let's see what this Heineke guy has. I don't know. Yeah. Come on, Caleb Williams. Let's go to the Falcons. But yeah, so Mariota, whatever. I was just joking. But Rashad Penny to replace Miles Sanders, one of the most efficient, if not the most efficient runner of the football in the last 4 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, but like Miles Sanders before him, he gets injured all the time. Hopefully he can get it together and
play 12 games.
Well, you got Kenny Gainwell there too, so
yeah.
I think how's that going to shake out? I like Kenny Gainwell over.
I think Kenny Gainwell is a big winner in this because literally no one expects Rashad Penny to play 17 games.
Right.
If he played 17 games, that would be a fucking miracle.
Gainwell's coming into his own.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Kenny Gainwell show. Should you go? I mean, I have one Gainwell.
I don't think I have any Gainwell because I'm such a Miles Sanders fan that I couldn't stomach it.
He was just traded in the Hogs League.
Gainwell
was just traded the other day.
I don't think that Kenny Gainwell has a ceiling any higher than RB 30 probably. That's the problem with Gainwell.
Yeah, this was the 2-12 for Gainwell.
Right.
This guy has no picks. He's an Eagles fan, and he lost in the championship game. So I think maybe he was just trying to get some currency, and this deal went down right after they signed Penny.
Well, let's move on to Cowboys. They let Zeke go, so now it's the Tony Pollard show.
Right.
And then they bring in Brandon Cooks, and they talk about how they want to run more. So they bring in a 180-pound wide receiver who can't run block, and they let a running back go. So I don't know what they really actually want to do, but I think it's a great move for Brandon Cooks. Might lengthen his career a little bit. Doesn't have to face number one coverage anymore because CD's going to pull all of that.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of volume in that offense. I don't think he's going to be 1,100 yards again or anything like that, but it's good for him.
Yep, I like the Cook signing in.
What does that do for Michael Gallup? Does it matter?
Oh, I mean, they're just filling the stable up with players. I mean, I don't know. I think that's it for Gallup. Who was their big rookie pick last year, the wide receiver? Everyone was all about him.
It was Jalen Tolbert. Remember Jalen Tolbert? Yeah,
Remember
yeah,
him?
that guy. So
Jalen Tolbert. I mean, maybe who
man,
knows?
he had some hype, didn't he?
He's got. Oh, how about your boy at the tight end, Peyton Hendershot?
Yeah, yeah. Who's it going to be, Peyton Hendershot or Jake Ferguson?
Yeah.
Or Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, Michael Meyer, even. I mean, who knows? They could go that route and get Michael Meyer in the first round. I don't think I want to invest in the tight end over there. That's for sure. But how funny would it be if my Peyton Hendershot that I tried to trade to Sipes for Brock Purdy ended up being a player? And
Oh, here you go. Here's the Cowboys. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 draft picks. They have the 26th and the 58th and the 90th.
so they have
Tankathon has Michael Mayer going to them, 26.
Yeah, see, I think
Makes
that's
a lot of sense.
Yeah,
And Zach Evans going to them at 90, running back.
There you
Ole
go.
Miss.
Ole Miss running back, yeah.
So that's interesting.
The Commanders, they grabbed Jacoby Brissett.
Sam Howell season.
Sure, man. Talk about a calamity of calamity.
You think this is Sam Howell's team he's not letting us go to Brissett.
Okay, well, let's be honest here. Lit is not the word that I would use. Can he hold off Jacoby Brissett? Because Sam Howell is hashtag not good.
And we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, there's a reason he was a 5th rounder.
They have the 16th pick. Dalton Kincaid mocked to them.
They're going to need receiving help, that's for sure. And Dalton Kincaid is like, he's like an Evan Ingram clone. Like, he's not going to be blocking, that's for sure. So, I don't know. As far as the role goes, I don't think he's quite the athlete.
Dalton Kincaid goes in the first round of the draft. They have him going at 16. Where are you taking him in a super flex in a 1.75?
1.75,
yeah.
Probably 112, 201-ish. I don't think that's unreasonable.
And then Mayer, we just had going to the Cowboys at what, 26, 23 it was. You know,
I want Mayer over Kincaid in pretty much any situation because he's a better blocker. He's going to see the field more. You know, he'll still get targets, but he's going to be on the field in all situations. Yeah. Whereas Kincaid is just basically stuck in a receiver role. Okay. Let's see here. And the Giants. Let's wrap up the NFC East and the East in general. Darren Waller, they trade for him, gave a 3rd rounder for him, and then added, you just had to have his name on here, Paris Campbell. Waller for the Giants is interesting in real world football, but there is no return to the 2021 or 2020.
Yeah, I didn't. Everybody was like Darren Waller, and that just doesn't. I was not impressed. I don't care about Waller.
I love Darren Waller, but in what scenario is he going to have 900 or 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns? What did Daniel Jones have, like 3,500 yards and 17 touchdowns last year? I mean, where are the points going to come from? So 2020, Darren Waller had 107 catches for 1,196 yards and 9 touchdowns. That season's not replicable. It's over. So I think it's a problem for his value. Anybody who is boosting his value by going to the New York Giants, sell to them. Sell.
He's competing for targets with Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, and Paris Campbell.
Yeah, the only problem is that there's not that many targets to compete for.
The Giants didn't do anything. They re-signed Darius Slayton.
Yep.
He was nothing for you before this Cinderella season for Danny Dimes. You think Danny Dimes is seriously turned the corner and he's just going to be this amazing quarterback going forward?
No, that's the point.
Ascending, or did he just get his he just got his $40 million a year contract, and now he's back to Danny Dimes.
He threw for 3,200 yards. As a team, they threw for 3,431 yards and 17 touchdowns. Your tight end isn't getting 30% of that.
How is Darius Slayton getting a 2-year, $12 million contract?
Okay,
$6
because
million a
first
year.
of all, $6 million a year for a wide receiver is absolutely nothing. Have you seen some? Jacoby Myers got $11 million a year.
Paris Campbell is come on, man. I know he signed a 1-year, prove it, $3 million contract.
Paris Campbell's on a cheap deal, 4.7 mil, so that's good for him.
Right. Didn't have he stayed healthy this season. 91 targets. He had like a Juju season.
Right. It was like a Juju light.
Yeah.
Let's go to the AFC West and wrap this thing up.
Do it.
So the Raiders bring in that $33 million Jacoby Myers, and their big move, they move from Derek Carr to Jimmy G. So they just replaced Derek Carr with Derek Carr. Does this do anything for Jacoby Myers? Up, down, left, right?
Competing with
AB.
Devontae Adams?
Yeah, and Hunter Renfrow. Now they got 2 slot receivers.
I almost feel like he might get the same stat line he got in New England.
Really? Another like 95 or 100 targets and
600 yards. He'll have like a Juju season.
Not 600 yards.
900.
800. He had 800 plus at the last 2 seasons. So
yeah,
you got to give him a little more credit than that. Juju didn't have 600 yards either. He had 933. Juju was not as bad as I think you want him to be.
Yeah. They have 12. Well, here's the deal with the Raiders. They have 12 picks in the draft. 7th overall, Will Levis being mocked to them.
I don't understand that because they just signed Jimmy G, and I think 2 of those years basically are guaranteed. I don't know that Jacoby Myers gets the same volume because he and Hunter Renfrow they're basically the same dude. Like they just do the same things. The Broncos bring in Samaje Perine off the Bengals
and Sean Payton. That's it though.
So, I think that's interesting.
And a bunch of wide receiver rumors.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Does Jerry Jeudy get moved or whatever? And then all the Tim Patrick truthers can come out of the woodwork in week 5 when he can finally play. No, Samaje Perine is interesting to me because Javonte Williams is hurt. And I think it's going to be an issue with how long does it take him to get back on the field. I think everyone's kind of expecting him to be on the PUP list. So if he's there, then Samaje's got a starting role, kind of similar to the Saints situation with Jamal Williams and presumably a suspended Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
I think that's a sneaky buy right now. Throw him in some trades, mix him in there. Chargers and Chiefs didn't do shit. Chiefs are going to be trying to replace wide receivers, Juju and Mecole, with Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore, I guess.
11 picks in the draft. They're looking at offensive tackle at 31. Marvin Mims in the 3rd round.
Okay, see that could be an interesting one. Well, Marvin Mims out of Oklahoma. I'd love that as a guy who has Mims in a Debbie league. Sure.
Yeah, and they have 11 picks, so they can move down, slide around.
Right. Yeah, they're going to be active, but I mean that's 11 picks. That's a lot of players to add.
Yeah.
So for the Super Bowl champion, the NFC West, much like the AFC North, there's not a single signing that's of interest in this whole division.
The NFC West.
Yeah. Arizona, nothing yet. Might let Hopkins go. We don't know. They might trade him. Seattle, nothing going on there. They let Penny go, but they already had Kenny Walker.
That's amazing.
The 49ers, they signed your boy Sam Darnold. That's the most significant signing they have. And the Rams didn't do anything. They're letting players go left and right. They're doing – you remember that purge when they cut Todd Gurley and moved Brandon Cooks? And it was like, all right, they cleared a bunch of cap space. They ate it for a year. It feels like they're doing that again.
That's the way to do it.
Sometimes you got to do it, yeah.
Just tank. Can you imagine if they get the quarterback next year? I mean, Stafford's healthy, so they'll win games.
Right.
If he's healthy.
Well, let's talk about some guys that have not signed yet that maybe could be interesting. You asked about DJ Chark. Where would you like to see him land?
DJ Chark needs to go somewhere that needs wide receiver help. He's a burner.
Yeah, he's got some wheels.
He's been rumored to be talking to Carolina and the Giants. Both teams are desperate for wide receiver, so I guess I'd like to see him in Carolina.
I think that'd be good for
with
him.
CJ Stroud with that pinpoint accuracy. I think that's kind of like a Jacksonville with Carolina.
You know what? It kind of feels like exactly the same situation.
Yeah,
Mine's the quarterback there. But
I mean, Chark really hadn't really done much, and then all of a sudden he was awesome, and then he's kind of just been blah.
Yeah,
Kinda roller coaster ride with DJ Chark, so maybe he can get that
fired up again.
Get that Carolina, that CJ Stroud action his way.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple running backs. You got Leonard Fournette and Zeke.
Playoff Lenny. Zeke.
Playoff Lenny. Both of those guys are going to have jobs. It's just a matter of where. I don't think either of them are going to be the same role that they had before. They're not going to be as heavily involved as they had been in the past. But which one would you rather have, Fournette or Zeke, on your team, your real team?
Probably Fournette.
Yeah.
Because he just looks, I don't know. Zeke just looks washed.
I'm not sure Fournette didn't look washed last year. He wasn't all that great either.
Who catches more passes?
They're both like that 60 target guy and have been. In the last 2 years, Fournette has 167 targets.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Of course, that Tampa Bay offense was throwing like 720 times. So there's that.
Baker Mayfield.
It's a pretty big drop-off in rushing for Fournette, though. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry last year.
Yeah, he hit a kind of a brick wall.
Yeah. Had 189 carries for 668 yards. Not great. But he had those 73 catches. That salvaged his season. Man, he caught 73 of 83 balls. That's an 88%. He's a really underrated receiver.
So, I mean, Tom Brady's throwing him dimes, probably.
I mean, it does help. But even before Brady was there, his career catch percentage is 80%, 80.4. So even before Brady was there, he was. I mean, Zeke and Fournette aren't going to be unemployed at the start of the season.
There was a Jets rumor with Zeke.
I don't know what that achieves for them. Don't they still have Michael Carter, or did they? I mean, they didn't do anything stupid to get rid of him.
They do. He was banged up last year, and they brought in.
Just hoping that Breece Hall gets healthy again.
I don't think Breece Hall is going to be back. I don't want him to be back week 1. I don't want.
Take your time and get healthy. Yeah.
So Zeke could be kind of like one of those Jamal Williams. They wanted Jamal Williams too, but I don't know. Well, Zeke can carry the load for a few games, I guess.
Where's Odell going to end up?
Another guy being to the Jets, Super Bowl champion. There's that. You got to throw that tax on there.
Noah Brown went to the. I didn't even realize this. He went to the Texans. My darling free agent pickup last year, Noah Brown. He went to the Texans.
Texans are loading up.
I don't know if that's called loading up, but they're putting warm bodies in the huddle. That's good.
Yeah, I'd like to see Derrick Henry traded. I'd like to see Dalvin Cook traded. So let's mix it up. Let's get crazy.
Let's get wild.
Let's trade the 102 for Garrett Wilson. Oh, I did that.
Let's talk some trades real quick. Well, we got a second.
Right.
One of our patrons mentioned one, so we'll talk about his too.
I did it. I finally got a Garrett Wilson, and it cost me a pretty penny.
Yes, it did.
But it's my only share in an orphan I picked up. Made some moves, acquired the 102. I got Finero, rookie fever, Michael Finero. I got him to be open to the idea of trading Garrett Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, a few shows ago, I talked about my rage trade was a result of Finero stringing me along and then, them just pulling the plug last minute. And I was just like, what the fuck? They just ended up trading, making us just some whatever silly trade. Anyway, so Finero, same thing, shoots me a message. Hey, that's a really good offer, man. I got to think about it. And then St. Patty's Day happened. I got super banged up, and I call him out on Twitter.
Oh no, I missed that.
Yeah. And what did I say? I said, here we go. I said, at Aardvark TV is the let me think about this offer and then decline it guy. I was warned by multiple sources about this torment. Yeah.
And what was the result of that tweet?
He responded, I didn't decline it. I'm away on a trip and didn't get back. My apologies. So we took it offline. We were going back and forth negotiating. I ended up it was actually because I revoked it after I made my little snarky Twitter post and in protest, and then he responded and wanted James Conner also on top of it.
So what was the final trade?
Final trades: the 102 and James Conner for Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, that's steep. See, I
That's
think I
steep.
would have wanted something on top of Garrett Wilson. I mean, I know it's a get your guy trade.
Yeah.
Dumb.
I mean, I've been trying to get my hands on Wilson. Nobody wanted to get part with Garrett Wilson.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Nobody. And I was throwing around some crazy offers. So I finally got. This is an orphan that when I first took it over, it had Aaron Rodgers on it, and I'm like, oh, well, I got to get rid of this guy. But now I'm just like,
see, now you got rid of your Jets guy.
Now I got a stack.
Yeah, so you got rid of your guy.
So I'll have some fun during the season with this team, and if it starts to go south, then I'll just unload all these guys and and stock up because this team definitely needs some more work. But I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have a Rodgers Wilson stack. Perhaps that would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it happens. You might have to go get Christian Watson to keep the stack.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on there.
Maybe.
So Mercer Patreon.
Yep.
And by the way, if you want to join our Patreon, hit us up at Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast. You can give us trades. We'll talk about them on the air. You can watch the show live and badger and heckle us. That's fine. We enjoy that. We got 2 tiers. We got a $3 tier. Get you in the group me. The link to the show every week. We also have a $10 tier. Gives you everything that the $3 tier has, plus a t-shirt and our direct numbers if you're looking to reach and get a hold of us.
24/7.
Or if you just want like random memes from Larry.
Hey,
that's the way to get them.
My Happy Fridays.
Yeah. That's right.
You get a Happy Friday text message.
So hit us up on Patreon. You can find us just like you find us here at Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast.
Yes.
All right. So Mercer said, if you're looking for a trade, I got one. Just accept it. So this sounds good to me. And this involves Rocky, friend of the show, Rocky.
Okay.
So 2 friends of the show here.
Trade Addicts.
Yeah, it was a Trade Addicts 2 trade. Mm-hmm.
Rocky Petrella.
Okay. So it actually happened in a Trade Addicts. All right. So Rocky sent Jimmy G and Breece Hall. And Mercer gave up Deshaun Watson and Khalil Herbert. So you have a quarterback and a running back on each side. You got Deshaun Watson and Jimmy G going, and you got Khalil Herbert and Breece Hall. And for context, Mercer has Allen and Lamar.
Hold on. 2 quarterbacks were being traded for 2 running backs?
No. 1 quarterback for 1 quarterback and 1 running back for 1 running back.
So what was the deal again?
Watson and Khalil Herbert for Jimmy G and Breece Hall.
Watson, Khalil
And Mercer said, I've got Josh Allen and Lamar still, one to make a push. He's got the 101, so he'll have Bijan and Breece Hall. And then Jimmy G is now his new QB 3, 4. So presumably he has another guy.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I'm all over that one.
Fine to me.
Yeah. I mean, Breece Hall is the bell cow, league winner. He's a stud. He was the 101 in all of Dynasty for like a brief week. And then and Khalil Herbert, we just talked about, just going to have his touches taken away from Donta Foreman, who's proven to be pretty effective running back in the league. So,
Khalil Herbert's his finish each year of his 2 years so far. Do you know where he finished in PPR?
Where?
RB63 and RB41. That's where he has finished. He's been an RB4 and an RB6 those 2 seasons.
Okay.
That's not so slick.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes.
We'll see.
But he's going to be splitting time, and that stinks. Then Jimmy G Watson is kind of not really shown us much the past few years. Where Jimmy G, if he can stay healthy, that's a big if too. So maybe if Jimmy G ends up getting injured again, like he always does, then maybe the Watson side's the way to go. But having Breece Hall has got to be fun. So I don't know. I like the Jimmy G side. He's going to have his weapons.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good trade for someone who's trying to get into more position player scoring. Like that's going to help his lineup, obviously. I mean, clearly, you put you take Khalil Herbert and replace him with Breece Hall, because you're not starting Deshaun Watson if you have Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
I mean, just having Bijan and Brees as opposed to Bijan and Khalil Herbert. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's got a nicer ring to it.
It'll make for a much prettier roster, that's for sure.
Yes.
So, yeah. As long as the Raiders don't go and draft a quarterback that they're going to start mid-season and Carson Wentz, Jimmy G, then it's fine, because then you don't lose that value either. Larry didn't want to give me the 103 and 111 in HQ1 for Jonathan Taylor. That's disappointing.
Yeah, man. I'm looking for the 2-for-1s. I'm not looking to.
You got all them picks, man. It's time to make some moves.
No, it's not time yet. Not time yet. I got another month.
I hear you.
I guess people got to be drooling still. Still waiting for them to drool. I like looking at the picks. I'm just gonna let them sit and marinate a little bit longer. There's been I've come close to pulling the trigger on some things, but it's nothing's happened yet. I just jump back. I just go out back to that, just the rookie ranks, and I'm like, would I rather have this guy or?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
This half-ass guy.
You're looking at it and you're like, man, at the 205, I can have whatever, and it's like, oh well, I think I'd rather just hold on to the pick. I get it.
Tajay
I mean, I don't agree with it. I think you should definitely acquire Jonathan Taylor, but I get it.
Because I'm going to be looking at quarterback at 3 in this league, not a running back. There'll be running backs in the later picks. What I was thinking about doing?
What's that, sir?
We got if you go on the merch site, man, there's some really cool. There is a really cool Dynasty Hot Sauce mug. And I feel like if any of the patrons make it to the end of this episode, I'll send them a mug. They gotta let us know. They gotta let us know they made it to this part, the last part of the show.
I like it. Reach out.
Yeah.
Let Larry know that you actually listened to the whole show.
We'll send a hot sauce mug your way.
I like it.
All right, we ready to rock?
Yeah, brother.
Let's get out of here. We'll see you next week. Hey, thanks for listening to the Dynasty Hot Sauce Podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Larry Monkey and Justin Rogers talking Dynasty football, baby. Come get